Subsidy is back as federal government pays 169.4 billion naira in August. The subsidy abracadabra is back. So Tinubu, with all his might and strength, he can't handle subsidy. And he has already told them at the United Nations General Assembly in New York that he removed the controversial and corrupt subsidy because he wanted to manage it. Now he has lied to the United Nations General Assembly because now we are seeing this, that he paid 169.4 billion naira as first subsidy in August. That was last month. And he should have known that before going to United Nations General Assembly to go and say he has removed subsidy. Moreover, they said he has hit ground and running. That was why he had to announce it on the first day of his office in May 29, 2023, during his inaugural speech. Yeah? Now, he has thrown Nigeria into serious jeopardy, into confusion with high cost of living, high transportation, and everything skyrocketing, high cost of food because of this first subsidy. Now, who is losing? So he's still paying subsidy and paying subsidy palliative. So is that not double dipping? Because I said it earlier that palliative due to subsidy removal is also a form of subsidy. So now this is double subsidy now. You are paying subsidy and you are paying palliative for removal of subsidy. So who is fooling who here now? I think the best thing is to revert back to that subsidy age and then return fuel to 185 naira per liter that it was, so that Nigerians can breathe. If not, this is all scam that we can see here. Despite the numerous assurances by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that the subsidy is gone, Daily Trust finding shows that the federal government paid 169.4 billion naira as subsidy in August to keep the pump price at 620 naira per liter. So who is deceiving who now? If you pay 169.4 billion naira to keep the fuel price at 620 naira per liter, what does that mean? When the subsidy was fully there, how much were we paying to keep the fuel price, pump price at 185 naira per liter? How much were we paying to keep it at 185 naira per liter? And how much are we paying now to keep it at 620 naira per liter? Hi, Tinubu, this is absolute scam. There have been several reports suggesting that the current price stagnation, despite the worsening exchange rate and international crude price crossing 95 naira per barrel, suggests a return of subsidy. So a document by the Federal Account Allocation Committee, FAAC, cited by our reporter yesterday, showed that in August 2023, the Nigerian liquefied natural gas, NLNG, paid $275 million as dividend to Nigeria via NNPC Limited. NNPC Limited used $220 million, which is about 169.4 billion naira, at 770 naira per dollar out of the 275 to pay for the PMS subsidy. Then PMS held back then NNPC held back $55 million illegally. Can you imagine? The revelation by FAAC effectively indicates that the subsidy is back and NNPC is now taking NLNG dividend to pay the subsidy. Subsidy payment under former President Muhammadu Buhari. Wow. So former President Muhammadu Buhari left the country with the highest amount of spent on subsidizing petrol in Nigerian history. According to Oil and Gas Industry report conducted by the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NITI, the cost of petrol subsidy from 2015 to 2020 was 101.99 trillion naira. That is almost 2 trillion. Also, reports by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation to the Federal Account Allocation Committee showed that petrol subsidy cost 1.57 trillion naira in 2021 alone, and another 1.27 trillion naira from January to May 2022. The government thereafter budgeted off 3 trillion naira to cover petrol subsidy cost from June 2022 to June 2023. So an aggregation of the entire cost showed that under President Buhari, the government spent 7.83 trillion naira on petrol subsidy alone. So crude oil, Brent crude crossed the $95 per barrel threshold as the value of the naira versus the dollar hit a record low at the black market, creating greater doubt about Nigeria's elimination of petrol subsidy. Oh boy, this is serious. The most recent increase in crude oil price was expected to drive up the price of gasoline, but the federal government's decision to keep the energy product at 617 liter per 607 naira per liter, 617 naira per liter, proved that the subsidy on premium motor spirit has been quietly restored. In addition to the rapid depreciation of the naira in Nigeria's most accessible black FX market, the price cap on gasoline has made it difficult for marketers. Yeah, because import is done using the dollars. This is serious. This is serious. Subsidy is back. The subsidy is back. There's nothing they can tell us. So Tinubu cannot control his economy. That is what it means. He's going to be frustrated and he's going to drop off the way I'm seeing it. So there are a few comments here. The people know that the people know what they are doing. They will continue to make poor Nigerians to suffer till something drastically is done to stop all these political thieves. Exactly. Useless government specialized in hard drugs. What is going on? Subsidy abracadabra again. Now, so we see. Shame on Tinubu and APC that knows nothing about governing. It is your Obi knows all. Okay, people of questionable characters. They started defending themselves now. And the people defending the government are even suffering, are even in absolute penury. Someone said no subsidy. The reporter should understand NNPC is a company. It can absorb losses under regulatory control. It will recoup when Dangote starts supplies and shareholders can profit from the gains of cutting costs of importation. Who told you? This one is trying to defend what NNPC is doing. And who is NNPC? Who is the Minister of Petroleum? NNPC is privatized, but then who do they report to? Now, who is giving NNPC the authority to go and pay for fuel subsidy? Is it not the government? Okay. Now we're saying what they're saying is that they paid some part of the money proceed from NLNG. They used some part to subsidize for petrol and held some part illegally. So what is Tinubu doing about it? Is he not aware? All of this happened in August. Can Tinubu say he's not aware of this? It's not acceptable. Functionary refinery is urgently needed in Nigeria. We know, but they won't fix it. And why we still buy at 595 naira per liter? Who is deceiving who in this country? And is Tinubu not addressing the nation on that? So the subsidy backlog before subsidies removal should not be settled, Abi. What are the backlogs? Did they tell you what the backlog? Piki will say mama no go sleep. How you go take sleep? You don't go sleep now. That is it. And fuel is still that high. This government has no agenda, drifting by their ignorance of government. The rot in our economy is caused by them. Okay? It's caused by them. But now they lack the knowledge to solve the problem. Instead, they resort to cut and nail approach. The more they try to cover their lapses through trial and error, the more the fumbling. Confusion everywhere. May God deliver Nigeria. So this is the situation now. Thank you for listening. And let's have a comment on this subsidy issue. Obviously, subsidy is back, and government is quietly paying subsidy at the back end and sharing subsidy palliative to the public at the front end. Who is deceiving who?